Hey, what's up, Sagittarius? Welcome to the channel. It's Robin here with AriesFireTarot. How's it going? So guys, it's time for your bonus read of the month, and this is going to be for March. So what I do for bonus reads, guys, is I look, oops, hold on. Oh my goodness, hold on. Oops-a-daisy. So I picked up all the cards of the good tarot, guys. So I was explaining what I do for the bonus reads. So every month I do a monthly read, I do a wealth and abundance read, and then I do my star guide reads. And for the bonus read, I look for something different to give you a little bit of deeper insight into your life. So I found this one called The Mother Wound, and it's really interesting reading. So just know, you guys, that this is going to be for whatever the dynamic is between you and your mother. Some of you might not have known your mother for various reasons. Some of you could get along with your mother really well. Some of you might not be able to stand your mother. So this is going to look at the energy and sort of the karmic ties between you and your maternal bloodline. So this is a really deep introspective reading, and I hope it brings some healing and you're able to, you know, close some karmic ties and move on a little bit in higher energy. So yeah, anyway, guys, let me just shuffle the good tarot a couple more times, and you know, let me know what you think of the reading down below in the comments, you guys. And if there's something that you think that would really help you on your journey, a specific reading, go ahead and let me know, and I'll do some research and I'll try to incorporate it sometime down the road, because I'm here to serve you guys, you know. So let's look at the message from Maternal Grandmother is going to be the first card. So let's have a look at that. So we have the Ten of Water. So the Ten of Water is the Ten of Cups. And again, you guys might not ever have met your maternal grandmother, but you know, she's always around you in spirit, and the prayers of your grandmother always protect you. And regardless of what your relationship might have been on the human plane, on the earthly plane, things are different in the spirit world. Things change, you know. So Ten of Cups coming from your maternal grandmother, she just wants you to be happy, you know, and she wants you to know that there is this deep and abiding love and joy available to you, and she sees it, you know, and she wants to pass this on to you. So I think this is just a beautiful message, you know, of love, peace, and abundance, and just being able to love your life. You know, it's a beautiful card. So let's see, what lesson do I have to learn because of my mother? So the Three of Fire. So this is like a trailblazing card, and this is saying like your journey is never going to end. There's always something new to be accomplished, like and how this translates to your mother, like sometimes we learn by example or the opposite of an example that was set. So there's a real energy of not ever giving up and moving forward. There's always going to be a next step on your journey, and when you think that something has completed itself, something else is going to open up. It's like that saying, like when you close a door, another one opens for you. So just always be watching for that next door to open, and this message from your maternal grandmother should really help that, you know. The happier you are, probably the more like blessed opportunities of abundance will come your way. So just don't lose faith in your hopes and dreams. That's really the general overtone I'm getting from these two cards here right now. So the third card we have, you guys, is a message from higher angels, and this is just really beautiful. We have the Love card. They want you to know that you're absolutely surrounded in love, and you know, particularly for those of you that may not have had a very good relationship with your mother, or never had one, just know that, you know, everybody has their journey here on earth, and the journey of other people, even if they're related to you, if they're your immediate family, your parents, sometimes people blame themselves for that, you know, and think like, well, if I had been a better child, that might not have happened, you know, or, you know, my mother might not have left, or she wouldn't have been so angry all the time. But that's not your burden to carry. So you are divinely loved and supported, and it looks like you guys have a bit of a fantastic journey ahead of you. And it's like you're being divinely protected and loved from really like high spirit, like archangels and angels surrounding you right now. And I know from some of your comments on other readings, you guys, that you feel like you've been through a bit of a grinder here. So there is an amazing flow of love coming into you right now. So I hope you can feel that anyway. And just open yourself up to the angels and ask them for help. It's really easy to do. Like I do it as part of my conversation, you know, or do a meditation or something like that. So the best quality I inherited from my mother. So you've got the Ace of Water, and I love this card for you. This is like such a beautiful card of being able to share love and abundance and, you know, an abundance of spirit. So you really have in your cards here, regardless of what you may have experienced, you know, in your lifetime, there's so much love there. And if you weren't feeling the love, there was something going on that you weren't aware of, right? So really stay tuned into that. And again, regardless of the example that you were set, you're able to show your love, you know, and spread that out to other people and embrace other people. And if you're trapped and not being able to do that, you might want to look at ways of releasing this really deep love that you have inside of you and the reasons why you're not expressing it. You know, if I think there's a real dichotomy going on for you guys, Sag. You know, because you have this beautiful quality in you, and I'm getting the sense that some of you are holding it back for whatever reason, but when you let that go and you live in your highest joy, things are going to change for you again. Like doors are just going to start busting open for you, you know, where you might have seen a brick wall before, all of a sudden there's going to be a door. So really start embracing how to release your love and like walk in love. So really interesting cards here for you. So this one is like one of my favorite cards here. What is the worst quality I inherited from my mother? So we've got the Seven of Fire here, you guys. So the Seven of Fire is like really a defensive card. You know, it's like feeling like everybody's against you all the time, or that you have to stick up for yourself all the time. And seeing this card in this particular position sort of sheds some light onto why you might not be exuding the love that you have, because maybe you feel like other people are judging you, or you know, maybe you got knocked down before when you expressed yourself. So it's this real kind of a self-imposed barrier that you're not expressing for whatever reason. So the Seven of Fire, it's like, you know, and this is a really nice and calm looking Seven of Fire, but in some decks, when you see the Seven of Wands, it's somebody turned around and they're holding up a wand, and then all these other wands are charging at the guy, and he's like, no, and I'm standing up to you guys, and you can't tell me what to do. So there's sort of an underlying tone of having to protect yourself in all situations and not letting your guard down, but where you're creating boundaries to prevent people from coming in and put you down, you're also blocking the love, and then you're blocking your, it's basically the inhale and exhale, you know, the energy exchange of allowing the love to flow in and out. And I'm inadvertently doing the infinity sign here. So like there's something really deeply infinite about yourself that you're holding back, and it's because somebody somewhere told you that your feelings were ridiculous. So what did my mother hope for me is the next card. Like she wanted you to basically be a soldier and go out there and take care of yourself and rule the world, right? The Queen of Swords here, the Queen of Air, this is somebody that doesn't take no for an answer. She's a very, very, very strong character. You know, and she does protect her tribe, and she's really incredibly successful. She's probably one of the most successful energies in the tarot card deck. And usually when I think about a fire sign, you would see the Queen of Fire, right? The Queen of Wands. However, she really she moves herself to the point of an exhaustion, whereas the Queen of Swords, Queen of Air, she really uses a different way of intellectualizing when she needs to protect her time. They both have that really sort of, I want to say, dark side where they can flip out. You know what I mean? If somebody flicks the switch, they like lose all sense of reality and, you know, tear a strip off of people. But the Queen of Air, she's saying, and this is from your mother, she really wanted you to be as successful as you could be, and maybe that didn't always come through, or maybe there was some sarcasm linked to it, and it sort of inhibited how you express yourself, even to yourself and with other people. But I mean, the hope that you would be happy and joyful and conquer the world was always there, running through all of it, underneath all of it, all the time. Okay, so let's see, what did my mother have to sacrifice for me? So this is kind of an interesting card here, you guys. So we have the Four of Fire. So it's like your mother had to give up something, in the sense of, like, maybe there was a touch of fame involved, or like some sort of recognition. And I think this is kind of a tricky card for people, because when you look at your mother, you might not necessarily see what she had to sacrifice for you, or maybe she told you all the time what she had to sacrifice for you. But always remember, guys, that this is a choice by your mother, and she made it, you know, and sometimes it maybe didn't sit as well as other times. So it can be a little bit of a difficult one for people. But most of the time, I would say the mother, you know, your mother did this knowing, you know, and especially in certain generations, you know, there was an expectation, like if you ever watched Mad Men, or, you know, there was an expectation that the woman would be at home and take care of the family. And it can be like that still in certain cultures, you know, that the woman is expected to be Susie Homemaker and just sort of bow out of everything that, and she could have really been pushing towards a high success here and something to really celebrate. And I think for some of your mothers, they could have really gone somewhere in the sense of being like a recognized star. You know, they had this really like a creative talent that could have taken them somewhere, but, you know, they considered their family more important. But maybe on those more sort of wistful days or very difficult days, they looked back and thought, well, my life could have been so different, but they chose the life that they have. So sometimes it can help you to look at people like in a more human way, instead of like a child-parent relationship. Like, people are just people, and they happen to be in different positions in your life. You know, and that dynamic between mother and child can be very, very complicated, especially if things are coming out like in sort of a blaming or angry way, where it's making you sort of defensive and put up the walls around your heart. So she gave that up, and it was to have a family, you know, and it wasn't specifically for you. She didn't know who you were before you got here. It's not your fault, you know. So don't ever feel guilty about the choices that your mother made in order to have you, because that was her choice, okay? But just know that there definitely was another path she could have walked. So you should honor that to some extent, right? So what did your mother learn? What lesson did your mother learn because of you? So we've got the Page of Air here. So the Page of Air is very, very interesting in this deck, and I'm just going to look up the meaning here because I think it's really important. You guys can just stare at the top of my head while I do this. So the Page of Air, hold on. What lesson did my mother learn because of me? New ideas. The call for greater investigation, as we've only scratched the surface. I don't really know. That's interesting. If I explain the way of thinking, what can I learn? New ideas, a theory not yet proven, curiosity, a new focus. So, I mean, you brought to her a completely different dream. you know, like a completely different way of looking at life. And like you opened her eyes in a different way. Motherhood brings this whole new facet into a woman's life, you know. So there was, maybe she had to give up a dream or a goal or whatever, but I mean, you brought to her this whole new dimension and you opened doors for her. You know, you were the gateway to a different kind of life. And I'm really seeing here that, you know, that was something that she would never have experienced if it wasn't for you. So the lesson that your mother learned was that there's multiple doors for her too. So you have I think you have a really complicated dynamic here. And there could be hurt feelings, especially if you're somebody that never did get to know your mother, because, you know, you could have possibly been like adopted out, or your mother could have passed away or something like that. But everything is a gateway into a different world, and your arrival here was a gateway for your mother, regardless of the dynamic or the relationships. And I really see there's an underlying complexity that you're sort of holding on to for whatever reason. And you don't have to do that. Like, you don't have to blame yourself for your mother's journey. You don't have to take credit for it. You don't have to let words from ancient history, maybe when you were a child growing up, you don't have to let any of that touch you. You know, you can release it all. You can just walk a completely different path, you know, and just understand that you and your parents and everybody in your life, you're all bonded together on a karmic soul journey. So just take the lessons as they present themselves and then let them go. Like, try not to carry it with you, and just remember that you're here to live your most beautiful, happy, loving life and be the best version of yourself that you have to offer. So just keep that in mind, you guys. And like, I hope you really enjoyed this reading. I'm gonna let it go there, and I'll see you back here another time. Take care. Bye.